Good morning and welcome to the Sunday celebrations here for the Centers of Spiritual Living Denver. We are a loving and prospering community here in the heart of Capitol Hill and online. We know that with everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. Here at CSL Denver, we want you to know that we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for prayer work with you. Our names and phone numbers are on the website at www.cslddenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, please email it to info@cslddenver.org. Reverend Elzia, along with all of our guest speakers, all of our practitioners, our music and service coordinators want you to know how truly grateful we are for your online support. Thank you for watching our Sunday services, attending our online workshops and events, and providing financial support so that we can keep our virtual doors open. We love you all and know we'll be seeing you in person in the right and perfect time. And now, we'll continue to meet online until further notice. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Please go to www.cslddenver.org and sign up for our newsletters. We only send out one per week. Or send an email to info@cslddenver.org and request to be put on our mailing list. This week, we are having our usual Zoom fellowship right after service. If you haven't already received an email this morning, please send an email to info@cslddenver.org to request a Zoom invitation. Please join us. We would love to say hi and catch up with you. That's it for the announcements this Sunday. Again, thank you for tuning in, and now back to our service.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Cardenas, practitioner with CSL Denver. So if it's comfortable for you now, you can sit back and close your eyes, and this is time for our invocation. So we just move into that presence within us, that place where the Creator unfolds and continues to unfold so that we become. And we know that the spiritual knowledge of all that exists is communicated through us through that omnipresence of spirit. We know that it's done so this morning, and we know that the message is blessed as we move into the community this morning. We know that the background being administrated by Diego is unfolding perfectly, and the message that Elzia is giving this morning and the music by Jeff King is beautifully blessed and is done so in great loving kindness to our community. We know that for all that are on the planet that need healing, that healing is taking place now. And wherever we are, we honor those who are honoring the Creator Spirit, whether it's in a synagogue, in nature, in church, or sitting at home in the sunlight. And so we just acknowledge that presence, know it is everywhere, and know that it is always present and that it is always available to us at all times. And so it is. And now for our reading. Teilhard de Chardin is known for the saying, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience." And Wayne Dyer clarified Desjardins by saying, "We are infinite beings having a temporary human experience. Therefore, we are divine souls having a human experience. If we wish to realize and manifest the divine qualities of our true self, we need to purify and silence the mind through loving devotion to the Creator, from whom all souls emerge and are a part of. The body and mind are your vehicles for communication and navigation while you are here. They are not who you really are. Ultimately, who you really are is a spiritual being sent into the world with a purpose to fulfill. Your personal mind does not remember this. Only the deeper spiritual mind within you knows who you really are, who sent you here, and what it is that you are meant to accomplish here. If you can reconnect your personal mind with this deeper part of yourself, the part who you were before coming here, and who you will be again after you leave, then you will begin to remember these things. If you are interested, this spiritual preparation will help you to build a bridge from your personal mind to your deeper spiritual mind. The fact is that we are spirits, or rather, we are the divine spirit. Yes, we can say that we are divine spirit having a human experience, but if we go a step further, we could say that we are divine spirits, or we are the divine spirit that takes on human life to experience the journey on earth. What this is all about is only known to the Creator. But yes, we must understand without confusing ourselves that we are the Spirit, the divine spirit. We are embodied souls. We are caged in the prison of the ego, mind, and body. Beyond that is unknown to man. It is not that our nature is one or the other. We have a dual nature. It is equally valid to say that we are physical beings having a spiritual experience. Closer to the truth is that we are both physical and spiritual beings having physical and spiritual experiences. And each physical experience has a spiritual component, just as every spiritual experience has a physical component. In fact, we have experiences that we experience in both our natures. There is no completely physical or spiritual experience. We experience everything as both due to our nature. And Ernest Holmes says, "Spirituality is natural goodness. God is not a person. God is a presence personified in us. Spirituality is not a thing. It is the atmosphere of God's presence, goodness, truth, and beauty." And so it is. We are happy to have Jeff King here this morning as our musical guest for Center for Spiritual Living Denver for the month of February. Jeff is a Colorado-based singer-songwriter, as well as a licensed religious science practitioner. He has performed in the greater Denver area for over 30 years in a number of popular bands, vocal groups, as well as solo appearances in retirement communities, clubs, churches, and other events. In 2015, he released his second all-original CD entitled The Golden Thread, a journey through the spiritual experience of mankind individually and collectively. He can be found online at jeffkingmusic.com and facebook.com/jeffkingmusic page. And now here's Jeff singing Expressing.
Good morning, everyone. Jeff King here. Good to be back singing with you folks in Denver. And hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to sing today a song. I actually wrote the poem part of this song, the first part, over 20 years ago. And then when I was in practitioner training 11, 12 years ago, I was writing the rest of the song, and I realized that the poem kind of fit well with it. So I included it on my latest CD, that was 2015, called Golden Thread. And this is called Expressing. Creation, expressing, ever opening, growing, becoming. A million light years of stardust finds its way to an earthly dawn. Sun expresses to leaf, leaf to flower, flower to bee. Honey becomes sustenance, inspiration for a sonnet, or a monument, or a solution. Something within the stardust, within the flower, within the monument, within all, is that which causes it to grow, to express, to be. Cosmic energy, conscious as thoughts, infuse space and time, yet itself infused with monuments and honey and flowers, expressing. Divine stardust, get lost in the night, illusion of darkness, ablaze with the light, the spirit within you, guiding you on. You reach the horizon, become one with the dawn, and your form, it is infinite. Thy own will be done, and your source is the universe, expressing as one. I share that journey Thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my planet. Thank you for my galaxy. Thank you for my universe. Thank you for my spirit. Expressing as one.
Good morning,
Peace to all.
and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love, a spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and applying universal principles to embody the intelligence of the divine and to empower our lives and the lives of others. Wow, I want to thank Jeff for that wonderful song of insight and just sets the tone so great for what we are going to embark on this month and begin to go within. Now, the first and foremost, I'd like to say to this month is an inspirational month in terms of our theme, which is the inward journey for the month, because it's the Black History Month and it's Valentine's Day. And you might say, well, what do those have to do with anything? Well, the Black History Month highlights the connection of all things and allows us to look beyond what we think we know, what we have been taught, what we have been given as a means of understanding life in its totality. And the Valentine's Day speaks to that whole thing about the heart of a matter, the things of the heart. And so, as we continue this global theme that we've embarked on for this year, which is living life in wonder or living everyday wonder, we begin to dig deep into the wonders of life. And so today we will go a little deeper and look at the origins of life. And today we are looking at who am I and why am I here? Who am I and why am I here? Now, this is a question that has been around since time immemorial. And often when we hear this question, who am I, the first part of this, we begin to do a description. We often start talking about our characteristics. Well, I'm tall, I'm short, I'm this, I'm that. We speak to values and what we're interested in, and we talk about our beliefs and relationships, and very often we talk about our accomplishments. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an architect, I'm a computer scientist. We have all these different descriptions of ourselves, but the question is that the real you? Teresa read in the reading this morning by Pierre T. Chardin that We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So this flesh and blood and this image we often see in the mirror, if we're looking, and that's why I said often, because sometimes we look in that mirror and we don't see truly. We don't really look at ourselves because we're looking at our characteristics and looking at what we've accomplished. And we begin to define ourselves by how well we think we're doing. Are we experiencing great relationships? Have we accomplished enough or accomplished what someone said we should or thought we could? But now, as we begin to look around the world today and witness some of the revolutionary changes that have happened within the last century, and especially within the last couple of years, this question like, who am I and why am I here on earth and where did I come from and what am I worth? What is my intrinsic value? Begin to ring louder and louder within our minds. Because you see, we look around and those of us who are traveling the spiritual path of understanding that there's a creative source greater than we are and that it is made in a connective, supportive way, we begin to ask, where is that support? Where is that understanding, that love that we often hear so much about? And so the thing becomes paramount in our mind is, how do we answer this question? How do we determine how we see the world? And we know that based on our worldview, what we believe about ourselves, what we know about ourselves, begin to transform what we see. Because see, the whole world right now is dealing with an identity crisis. Because what we are seeing within is being reflected without. Separation, differences, judgment, all these things that we sometimes take on as ourselves, but it's not us. So let's begin to unravel this. Let's begin to change our worldview, because that's the only thing that's going to, one, allow us to answer the questions of who we are, and then step boldly into this idea of why we're here. What is our purpose? Now is the time to change that. Now is the time to create this new worldview. And to start that, we start with the idea that we are made in the image and likeness of God. And there's a Chinese proverb that says, when the eye is not blocked, the result is vision. When the mind is not blocked, the result is wisdom. And when the spirit is not blocked, the results is love. The results is love. And that's where we're looking to be right now. We're returning to love now. We are made in this image and likeness of God that is based on a fixed reference point. This life principle, this cosmic reality that is often, I think, expressed in its most fullest and its most engaging way as the yin and yang symbol, that reciprocal aspect of the world that works together. And sometimes it looks like it's falling apart or battling or are not congruent with each other, but in actuality, they are supporting each other, which is this life principle, this unfolding, which is what the whole cosmos is doing. It's what the whole cosmos is made of. And so when we have vision and we have wisdom and we can hear with an attuned ear, we begin to look within and not without. We begin to tune in to those things that are unique to us and that are definitely something that speaks to not only who we are, but why we're here. But why we're here. And so as we begin to answer these age-old questions about who we are and why we're here, I first want to just bring your attention to this movie. And I'm hoping that each one of you have seen it, maybe in the past, or and if you haven't, go and watch it. Or if you've seen it before, watch it again. And that movie is The Dead Poets Society. Some of you might remember it. It's the movie with Robin Williams, and he's at a school up in the Northeast, and it's a private school, and he's kind of out of the box from the traditional stuffy shirt persona, worldview that school has. And he's asking the students to go within, to look at how they are presenting themselves to the world. Are they doing it within a box or a worldview that someone has given them without any questions, without any experience, without any questioning? And then there's one poem that he speaks of life as a stage, and that we're all actors in this stage, and that we each have a part to play so that the play sticks together. And at the end of this little soliloquy he's given to the classroom, he asks this final question. He says, when your life has ended, what verse will you leave on the annals of time? What will you leave here? What will you bring forth to know that you were here? To add to the wholeness of life, to add to the integral parts of transformation for all things in the cosmos. And when we can tap into that point, we're on our way. We're on our way to understanding who we are and why we're here. And so as we answer these questions and begin to go deep within, I have 3 points of reflection. And I say 3 points of reflection because each one of us plays a different part. We have a different skill set. We have a different perspective that allows each and every one of us to see the whole, to experience the whole, even if it's vicariously through our brothers and sisters. And so the first thing that we should reflect on, and this is a statement that we've all heard, and that is, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Now, what has that got to do with who I am? Well, I think the first thing we have to understand is what is heaven. Not what we see in movies and pictures and fluffy clouds and things. The definition of heaven is this transcendent place that is beyond limits of ordinary experience. It's a place of true perception, a place where we are clear about who we are, and we realize that God is all there is. When we step into that place, when we understand that God is all there is, and that the way we are experiencing life in large part is dictated by us in the worldview. How open are we? How loving are we? How supportive are we? Because when we can step into that place, we become in heaven. We become active participants in life. We live within the paradox of transformation. We don't get confused by it. We don't get fearful. We understand that this is heaven. It is a transcendent, transformative place that allows us to step into the true nature of who we are. And we know that the truth will set you free. And that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to be set free from these imposed ideas that are not congruent with our nature of love, our nature of support, our nature of wholeness. So we do not let someone else's opinion become our opinion of ourselves. We do not let this deter us from consciously deciding what life is for us, because God has placed that wisdom with each and every one of us. And so when we begin to move in that kind of a space, we come up with this idea that in moments of real inspiration, we understand, at least to some degree, that God is all there is. That which is within itself is all that really is. That life is everything, and that love through everything. That love is in, through, and around all things. That's who we are. That's what we're here for. That's why we are here, to begin to understand that what heaven is all about. And so the key to heaven is love. If you want to get into heaven, you got the key, and that key is love. This is the truth that sets you free. This is the dynamic, divine energy that God has put in us that is never ending. And once we begin to understand this, and we begin to see life as a whole connected thing, we can step out of the drama of life. Because remember, all plays aren't drama. You know, there are romances and there are adventures and there are various types of movies and screenplays and stories that allow us to not get stuck in one aspect of life, drama, but there are other ways of viewing the world. And when we do it holistically, all of these things come into play. Yes, there is drama in life. Yes, there is some sadness. Yes, there is some joy. But it is the wholeness of that film, that book, that play that leaves you walking away saying, oh boy, I remember who and what I am now. I know why I'm here. And when that happens, when we can do that by stepping into this idea of the kingdom where everything is connected and we can transcend all things, then we move to the next step. We move to the step. There's a song that goes, you know, why have we come here? Why have we come to earth? And it says, we've come here to love, serve, and remember. To love, serve, and remember. And once we've awakened to this idea, we understand that as we walk this path, this spiritual path, our true nature begins to blossom. We begin to see things differently. And that axiom that we lean on, change your thinking and change your life, takes on a new meaning. We begin to see that as we return to love, we can step out of the drama game and we can become beacons of light. We can speak from a place of knowingness because we're speaking from an authentic self. We're speaking from a place of God because at our true essence, that's who we are. And how do we begin to step into this love? How do we begin to serve and remember who we are? We have to step toward God. We have to move towards the divine that is everywhere present. It is said that if we take one step towards God, God will take 10 towards us. One step towards God, and God will take 10 towards us. Now, that's I can't even speak on that. That is just tremendous when we think we just have to give a little effort and God will begin to give us the momentum and begin to raise us to the point to where we are moving with ease and grace. And so when we remember that we are emanations of the Most High God and that there is only one life, and that life is God life, and that life is our life now, we can be whole and complete. We can move beyond the ups and downs of life, and we can live what's called an authentic life, knowing that everything has a place, reason, and purpose. And that as we do this, we begin to serve humanity, knowing that we are loved and that we can love each other, and that this transformative step moves us to our greater yet to be. Moves us to our greater yet to be. And so in that state, we move into this point where it says, we believe that spirit is embodied in everyone and that we are all embodiments of the one spirit. This is by Ernest Holmes. He speaks to that point that there's only God. This life, there's only one life. There's only one spirit. It is the creative source, divine energy that is everywhere present. And when we can successfully step into that, when we can embody that, as they say in the church, Hosanna, Hosanna, everything opens up. We begin to move with ease and grace and knowledge and understanding and wisdom. And then that leads us to this final step of once we seek the kingdom of heaven, and once we begin to remember, to love, serve, and remember, now we can begin to live in the present moment in that yin and yang of being and becoming. Of being and becoming. Because now we understand that life is forever changing. Forever changing, whether we want it to or not. And that the quality of our lives begin to take shape on how we live in this very moment. How we respond to the things that are coming towards us. Therefore, as we understand and accept that life is continually unfolding, that we will be caught up in all manner of things, we know that the most important thing is to stay flexible. And as Ernest Holmes has said, stay open at the top. Because as things unfold, more things are revealed. And as more things are revealed, we have to begin to figure out how we fit them, match them, understand them in relationship to what we already know. Just think of the advent of electricity or the advent of the car. When those things came on the scene, humanity had to rethink what was going on. As we begin to understand the planets in the heavens and the movement and cycles that they move and revolve around, we had to rethink everything. It didn't mean throw everything out. We had to be, and then as opposed to falling out, we had to become something new. And this is the place where we are right now. And so as we begin to continue to open at the top and be flexible and remember that we live in a quantum world where that is made of divine energy that is always changing form, but never in essence. That everything we do contributes to the life around us. That the universe is responding to us in kind. The energy, ideas that we put out as a being will begin to create itself in our lives or recreate ourselves. And so if we give ourselves love, if we give each other love, and we allow the universe to return it to us in a way that only God can do, then we begin to live each moment fully, authentically, knowing that God is not finished with us yet and that we are a continual work in progress. And so as we think about that continual process of life, we have this by Ernest Holmes that says, to learn how to think is to live. Is to learn how to live. For our thoughts enter into a medium that is infinite. It is in its ability to do and be. Man, by thinking, can bring into his experience whatever he desires, provided he thinks rightly and becomes the living embodiment of his thoughts. This is not done by holding thoughts, but by knowing the truth. By knowing the truth. And that's what we are. That's what we are today. And that's where we begin to really understand who we are and why we're here. By knowing the truth. By understanding these steps of first seeking the kingdom of heaven, and love, serve, and remember, and to be flexible, to be in the state of being and becoming. And when we do that, we allow ourselves to become true children of God, to become true aspects of the divine. Now just take that in. And so, because that is where we need to be. That is where we want to be. That is where we are striving to be. And so as we do that, I think this sums up the whole manner of who and what we are. And that is, God is everything, an energy of love that possesses an incomprehensible wisdom and power. We are the comprehended in God, for he is in each and every one of us. He is the substance of our being. He is the substance of our being. And so as we move forward in that idea, and we learn to love and support each other, and remember each day who we are, we can remake the world. We can live every day in wonder, knowing that the unfoldment of life is always with us. And so with that, I'd like to leave you as always with some calls to actions, because this stuff means nothing if we don't put it into practice. And so let's start by doing some meditation. Let's go within. Let's figure out what's rumbling around in there. What is God saying to us? What is our life dictating to us? And as we do that, we begin to take inventory of your attributes that will help you identify who you are and what your purpose is. So look at your characteristics. What do you value? What interests you? What are your beliefs, relationships, accomplishments? And look at them not as who you are, but as manifestations of the divine wisdom that is within. And when we can do that, we begin to unfold into a person that sometimes we look in the mirror that's unrecognizable, because we begin to see the light. We begin to see the presence of God in everything we do and in ourselves. And so with that, let's go into prayer. So at this moment right now, knowing that the only thing that exists is God, this perfect moment in time, this unfoldment of the Spirit that creates worlds, that resolves issues, that acknowledges everything and denies nothing. It is that presence, that understanding, that wisdom, that power, that divine energy of love that is pulsating throughout the universe, awakening each and every one of us to our true nature, to that spiritual aspect that says, I am my brother and sister's keeper. I am caretakers of the world. I am the one that we've been waiting for to allow us to awaken to a new way of life. And I know that each and every one of us are awakening to that life, because that is our destiny, to remember who we are, to love, serve, and remember that we are emanations of the Most High God, that we are endowed with powers and principalities that are standing for God. And so with that, I declare right here, right now, that each one of us are awakening to that idea, that we are supporting a world that works for everyone, that we are unfolding new ideas and concepts and beautiful ways of living in relationship with each other that supports life. Because that's who we are, and that's why we're here, to continue to unfold and to love and to see the glory of life. And so with that vision of who we are and what we are continuing to become, I give thanks. I give thanks for the yin and yang of life, for the ups and downs, for the way to experience myself in true living. And I know that's true for each and every one of us. And so in that idea, I just released this prayer, knowing that God has already heard it, activated it, and made it unfold in each and every one of our lives. And so I just release, let go, and know that it is so. And I declare this prayer good and oh so good. And so it is. Amen, amen, and amen. And so as we move forward this week and begin to really go deep within and take some inventory of who we are, I hope we can continue to be in tune with the infinite and know exactly who we are and why we're here. And so it's this time now that we step into the gracious process of giving. And we are so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you that are continuing to support our center and the work that we're attempting to do. So whether this is your first time or you're a returning member of our community, we want to thank you, especially during these times of change, of understanding who we are and looking to serve. And so you can see right now, running across the bottom of the screen, the many different ways you can give by texting on your cell phone or going to our website and clicking on the donate button or sending a check or money order to the P.O. box. But however you choose to give, please do. And for those of you who are Amazon users or King Supers users, you can even use your purchases there to send a percentage of those to our center. And so we just know that whatever's right and calling to you, it is unfolding perfectly at this moment now. So now, if you can just put your money, your heart, your hand, your love, your service on your heart and repeat our affirmation. This perfect gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Elzia. That was great. Good to send us off in a week with that wonderful message. Okay, this morning we have a few announcements. Our usual virtual fellowship on Zoom is this morning. We would love for you to come join us and let us know how you're doing. If you did not receive the Zoom invitation earlier this morning, please send an email to info@csldenver.org and mention fellowship, and we'll send you a Zoom invitation right away. We have a book club, and it starts this Thursday, February 10th in the evening from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We'll be working with Becoming Supernatural, How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon by Joe Dispenza. We'll probably be working with this book throughout the year. We will meet the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 6:30 to 8:30 Mountain Time. So for February, mark your calendars for February 10th and 24th. The book club will be via Zoom, so please send an email to info@csldenver.org to request an invitation. The Zoom invitation will be sent out Thursday morning. Please read the first 2 chapters before February 10 for our discussion. Meanwhile, we hope you have a wonderful week and affirm right here and right now that 2022 is blessed and perfect in all that it is. We love you and miss you. Please take care of yourselves. And let's close out with I release and I let go. Thank you.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta let